Can you still make money CPU mining Bitcoin at home in 2025? Well, the short answer is yes, absolutely. I myself am running a small at-home CPU mining farm that is making around $6 a day worth of Bitcoin in passive income. So today I'm going to take you through that setup, show you what we're earning, what we're using, and how you can get this same setup working for yourself at home if you're looking to create a little extra passive income. Let's get into it. Let's start very quickly by talking about what a CPU miner is. So right here, we have got a motherboard, just like you would find in any of your computers at home. If you're watching this on a computer, of course. So exact same setup without the graphics card that would slot in here. You've got a motherboard, you've got your motherboard battery, you've got your RAM, you've got your CPU fan, and under here is your CPU cooler. That is all we will need to start mining. Of course, we'll need to plug a power supply in as well, but I feel like that goes without saying. 24 pin ATX here. You've also got another 8 pin right there. But if you're looking for any more information on how to actually build one of these, I'll leave a card up above, or I will leave a link down in the description on how exactly you can build this, how you can set up the BIOS, how you can get it mining. All very, very simple, and it explains all of that in the video. Don't get concerned by looking at this and thinking, I've got no idea what I'm doing. It's literally 4 different components, and watching that video will take you through the lot. So next up, let's go and look at my CPU farm, and I'll show you what CPUs I'm using, how much hash rate they're getting, and how much power they are using. All right, so now that we know what a CPU mining rig is, let's have a look at them in action. So welcome inside to my mining farm. You can see we got a bunch of stuff online here, a bunch of stuff not online, these GPU mining rigs, some ASICs, they're on, but of course, let's look at the CPU miners. So up on the left here, first rig, we've got this Minisforum BD795M. This thing is an absolute beast, by far the most efficient rig CPU miner that's on the market right now. Love that thing. Right next to it, we've got the 7950X. Now, this thing is also a serious beast as far as hash rate, but not nearly as efficient as this one, unfortunately, but still a really, really good CPU miner. This is a 5950X that is not on CPU mining today. That is on a different coin called Warthog. And then up on this bench here, we've got two 5900Xs. This is 5900X number 1 on that Micro X board, and then 5900X number 2, also on a Micro ATX board, sorry. So those are the 4 rigs we're looking at today. So let's jump on over into what we call Hive OS and start looking at some hash rate, efficiency, and power numbers. This video is brought to you by CryptoMinerBros, a trusted global supplier of crypto mining hardware. They offer a wide selection of ASIC miners for all major coins and budgets, with free worldwide shipping, 24/7 customer support, and a 180-day warranty included with every purchase. Use code BearMarketMiner at checkout to get $70 off your order. Visit CryptoMinerBros.com and mine smarter with gear you can count on. So now that we have seen what rigs we're running, what we're physically running, let's have a look over in what is called the Hive OS dashboard. Now, Hive OS is a Linux-based system. It's basically the mining software that we are using. I will show you what mining software you will most likely use if you just want to set this up on Windows. Very, very easy to do. But first of all, let's start from the top down. So we had that 5900X. It is on Random X Monero. That is the algorithm it is mining and getting just under around 10 kilohash. Now, This is 110 watts for this whole unit. That's the motherboard, CPU, the CPU fan as well, and the RAM, which uses up a little bit of power. Now I have got these exact readings by using one of these. Just a very basic little power meter. This is how you can find out your power usage as well if it's something you wanted to get into, just so you can figure out in the calculators, which we'll look at later, how much money you can actually make, because you have to take the electricity out if you're trying to figure out the profit. But moving along again, the 5900X, the second 5900X, you can see a slightly different variance in the hash rate, just above 10 kilohash this time. Now from memory, I have these undervolted at a pretty similar range, but with that higher hash rate, it is also using slightly more power, right at 114 watts. The next CPU, 7950X Absolute Beast, is using 15.3 kilowatts, but at 180 watts, so significantly more power, but again, around 50% more hash rate, and not even close to 50% more power, so definitely a more efficient rig. And last but certainly not least, that BD795M. This is that mini PC that I showed you in the room, getting more hash rate for a fraction of the power. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. Make sure you check out my video on this mini PC, because if you want to get into CPU mining and want to set something like this up, this board is an all-in-one. You can get it with the fan, the CPU, and the RAM on the motherboard, all included. And as far as efficiency goes, it absolutely blows everything out of the water. So I'll leave that tag up above or the video down below, something like that. Check the description if you want to check out this thing. Absolute monster. So next up, let's look at the actual NiceHash software that you are more than likely to use if you want to use this on Windows and you want to avoid all of this HiveOS Linux stuff. So right here, we are looking at the HiveOS Windows interface. So this is what you will be using if you want to mine on Windows. It's just an application you can download. I'll leave that link in the description. You install it, and then it does everything else, right? So got your dashboard right here. Once you click start mining, it will tell you your profitability, but let's go a little bit more into the ins and outs. So we can see here, it's got our CPU and our GPU. This is on my recording PC, so obviously I won't be using these to mine. This is purely just for you to check out. But here's how this whole thing works. So you're on NiceHash, you've made an account, very straightforward, email, password, etc. And then you've got NiceHash, right? You've downloaded that. You're going to need to run some benchmarks. So if we look at the top, we've got our CPU now. NiceHash only has random X Monero and 2 different miner styles. So the first thing you'll do is you'll run all these benchmarks. There's a start benchmark button. Down the bottom here, you should be able to see that. Yep. And the way NiceHash works is with all of these different algorithms, not a lot on the CPUs, but fortunately very profitable on the CPUs. But also on the GPUs, you see we've got my 3090 here, and it's got a whole bunch of different algorithms. So most of the time, up until recently on GPUs, one of these algorithms you've been able to mine with and get paid out in Bitcoin and earn more than you burn. So that's basically how the whole thing works, right? It's taking the most profitable algorithm at the time, mining on your CPU or GPU, and paying you out in Bitcoin. So taking a look at our NiceHash dashboard. So this is where you can log in online, just on nicehash.com after you've made your account. So you'll be mining on that application on Windows, and then you'll be coming in here and you'll be looking to check your hash rates and your profitability. So got our 4 different rigs right here at the moment, and we can see they're making all different profitabilities. Now, NiceHash, often the profitability will bounce up and down. We can see here we've got one 5900X that's registering at $1.87 and one that is registering at 47 cents. So not the most accurate way to measure your actual profitability or see how much you're making worth of Bitcoin. Best way I like to do it is you come down here into your history and stats, and you can see your mining stats right here. Now this is for random X Monero. Over the last day, we've averaged just under $6. Now this is Australian dollars at 47.14 kilohashes. So doing really, really nicely for 4 little CPUs, right? So these things have long paid themselves off in the past, and right now this is just all cream. Obviously there is electricity that you have to take out of it, which I'll show you how to figure out in a little bit on a calculator. But for my sake, knowing that this whole rig is using around $1 to $2 worth of electricity per day at my electric rate, knowing that it's making around $6 in revenue worth of, Bitcoin, I'm not selling this. I'm going to be holding onto this, and I'm fairly confident that with around a 30% price increase over the lifetime, that electricity cost will be completely negated. So looking really, really nice at the moment. Considering getting a few more rigs online, that's for sure. Now, if you want to find out how much actual profit you're making, if you're planning on selling for the electricity, you're going to, of course, use one of these, right? So you can figure out your power costs, your power usage at the wall. You're then going to come over here onto the the hashrate.no calculator. Now, right here, we have a whole bunch of different algorithms. Here, right here, can you see that? Yep, you're going to enter in your hash rate that you're getting in the NiceHash dashboard and the wattage. And it's going to give you a calculation. Now, of course, you can just see the number down here at the bottom, but if you already had an idea of what you could expect by going into, say, the CPU sections here, which will give you an idea, you could just enter that number into the calculation, right? So that's one way to figure it out and to make sure, that you're actually making a profit if that's what you're looking for. So for example, say we've got, here we go, 10,000 hashes, which is 10 kilohash, at around 100 watts, which is pretty similar to that 5900X, which is a standard sort of gaming CPU. Power cost is around 10 cents USD electric. You can see 61 cents in revenue, only 24 cents worth of electricity, meaning you're profiting 37 cents. So you can see how if you had a big mining farm or if you had a number of these CPUs, you can really start to actually turn out some revenue, because once they're set up, that's it. It's set and forget. Just keep stacking that Bitcoin. All right, guys, so that will wrap it up there. So not bad, around $6 a day worth of revenue getting paid out in Bitcoin on 4 CPUs. Now, as I've mentioned previously, I've got a number of other CPUs offline, so I'm thinking I might get these all going, because profits don't last forever on this stuff. Right now, the random X algorithm, the price has gone up and the hash rate has gone down. So this is what's leading towards these increased yields, but we'll take it while we can, right? Bitcoin is Bitcoin, a store of wealth in my opinion, and I'm planning on holding that for a long time. So let me know what you guys think. Have you got a CPU mining rig, or do you need to set up a CPU mining rig? Check out those videos that I've mentioned. I also do one-on-one coaching sessions and consultation. If that's something you're interested in, want to build a mining rig or pick the parts, all that sort of stuff, check the link in the description. Also join the Discord if you want a little bit more information, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.